Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a beer, it's time for some Path of Exile discussion. Undoubtedly with the Expedition League just about 10 hours away, some of you have made up your minds about what you want to league start, and some of you are still looking for inspiration. So I wanted to give you a selection of builds that I've found from around the internet, 5 of them that are from well-respected Path of Exile content creators, as well as just mention some of the ideas that I had that I could not make work. So firstly, I'm going to go through 5 ideas I couldn't make work. The first one was Poison Occultist Blade Trap. I tried to make this work, I really did. It didn't have clear speed, so I was trying to use either Cobra Lash or Spectral Shield Throw to augment that. I couldn't fit all the pieces together. Someone else may very well be able to, but I couldn't. The second idea that I had was a Voltaxic Rift Battle Mage Voltaxic Burst Occultist, with or without Spell Poison. This is just something that's not appropriate for League Start, because it relies upon a unique that's a new unique, Cadigan's Crown, which is one of the new uniques that's being introduced in the Expedition League. This could be mega rare and it empowers the build. Also, Voltaxic Rift isn't very common either. I probably want to play with this as something later in the league, assuming that Cadigan's Crown is not Headhunter tier price, and maybe even if it is. A third idea that I had was a Mjolnir Voltaxic Burst character. And I really want to wait until we see exactly how Voltaxic Burst interacts with being triggered and with whether its duration increases on existing stacks when a new copy of it is triggered. So I didn't actually go any further with that. Again, something maybe for later in the league. Fourth idea that I couldn't make work was Bone Shatter. Too much self-damage on a high-level Bone Shatter. I just cannot see a way to make this work. You'll possibly use a low-level Bone Shatter, but the high-level ones just look like they're going to be stinging you for thousands of damage really quickly. And whilst you can mitigate a lot of physical damage, the amounts of physical mitigation you would need in order to make these feel comfortable were just off the charts. So I couldn't make it work. Someone else undoubtedly will, but I think for the moment, if you are interested in playing a Bone Shatter build, play Glacial Hammer instead. Similar damage scaling, a little bit less damage, but it's also not going to be killing you. The last one that I tried to build and couldn't make work was Forbidden Rite Self-Cast. Heaps of people want a guide for it. It's one of the most popular requests I've had. And my answer is still not until you get 84% Chaos Resistance, which is not possible until well into endgame. The self-damage on Forbidden Rite Self-Cast at 75% Chaos Resist is miles worse than Righteous Fire, and whilst you can make Righteous Fire work, I don't believe you can make Forbidden Rite Self-Cast work. There will definitely be good totems guides for it. I can't recommend one yet, but that's just because I haven't really looked for them. There's undoubtedly good ones. 2 builds I outlined myself, I'll just mention them. I have links to both of these in the description of the video below. If you're interested in playing an Absolution Guardian, I have a guide for that. If you're interested in playing an Exsanguinate Mines Saboteur, I also have a guide for that. So, the first guide that I want to present from someone else is an Essence Drain build, and that's from Twitch streamer Zizaran. Link to it in the description below. Essence Drain Contagion is an A-tier damage projection skill with a C-tier single target. Zizaran's an extraordinarily good player, and he's posted a guide on his YouTube. Link in the description below. The idea here is that basically you are quite simply spreading a plague through a pack of monsters, but this has a very powerful playstyle where once you hit one enemy with your first skill, using the second one basically sets off a chain reaction that kills them all, but it is very slow at killing bosses. If you play Essence Drain Contagion, expect that your fights against, say, 4 Watchstone Alhesman might take as long as 8 or 9 or 10 8 or 9 or 10 of his phases where the center pool fills up. So you'll need to be pretty mechanically solid at dodging the boss deadly attacks, but you will have amazing clear speed to go with it. So the second second thing that I want to pull out is Soulwrest Necromancer. Now I'm going to put a link to streamer and YouTuber Grimro's guide for this. Grimro thinks this will be good, and I trust his judgment as I know very little about minions, but Grimro is an exceptional player. Soulwrest is a tier 2 rarity drop anywhere unique. So it's the same rarity tier as Prism Guardian and Chevron's Wrappings, and with Grimro talking this up as a potential league starter, that's going to make it expensive in the first couple of days. I expect that Soulwrest will be 3 to 5 exalts in the first couple of days, and should fall to 1 exalt or so by about day 3, 4, or 5. I could be wrong on that. That is my prediction. I'm not always right on when it comes to things around the economy. But this build has B tier damage projection and A tier bossing. So link in the description below to Grimro's guide. Next up we have the Ice Trap Raider or Saboteur. Now there is an extremely detailed guide to this by streamer Tripolarbare. which is a guide that is both available. Like he's going to be playing it as a Saboteur, but he also has an adaptation to Raider Ascendancy, which is very thorough and it's well worth a look. This guide, it's excellent. It's a skill that works really well on a budget, and the guide is incredibly detailed. It's probably the most new player friendly of all of these guides that I'm recommending here, and it's something that, yeah, just goes through a lot of detail. I'm going to give this a B+ for boss killing and a B for damage projection, and the link is down below. Next up, there is Vortex. ShakCentral is, in my opinion, the preeminent authority on the cold damage over time skills in Path of Exile, and he's made a guide on the Path of Exile forums. So this is the cold dot for everyone thread on the Path of Exile forums. This should be similar in performance to Ice Trap, but it's a very different playstyle. Now, I'm expecting that ShakCentral will post a guide to this on his YouTube channel, but I'm just going to put a link to both his Twitch stream and his YouTube channel down in the description below. Lastly, if you want something that's a bit more of a meme build, the Twitch streamer Lighty has a plan for Summon Reaper. And he is very clear that this is not likely to be a super powerful build. It's something that he was asked to put together if someone put a gun to his head and said, you must play Reaper in the new league. So that's something that you can also check out in the description below. And you can follow Lighty's advice as to whether it's a powerful build or not. Anyway, that's just a little bit of a roundup of some of the interesting builds that I've seen online. If you've seen other good ones, definitely share a link to them in the description, in the comment section down below. As for myself, I will be streaming Leaguestart starting from bright and early. 6 a.m. in the morning, my time, is when the league actually starts here in Australia. And I'm going to go at least through to 8 Watchstones on the first day, maybe a bit further, depending upon exactly how impactful the nerfs end up being. Anyways, have fun. I hope your Varlorbs have interesting results, and I'm going to leave it there.